Hello guys, welcome back. So in our previous stream what we did was we implemented the power hit system. So now we have the player who can hit the gilly or can manipulate the gilly's distance based on the power that we provide. So basically how I implemented that was the longer I hold the strike button and the more power the player is gonna generate, which has a limit of course of 3 4 however or whatever that I can put, which I can change anytime. But for now, what matters is the gilly is traveling the distance that I want it to travel based on the power that I provide. So that worked in our previous stream, and for this stream there are a lot of things that I want to fix. The first one, wait, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me build the game first. There are two things that I want to fix in this stream. The first one is this movement of camera. The thing that I want to achieve is this exact thing, but this is so responsive that for a player playing on a mobile device, he's gonna face a problem whenever he tries to swipe left and right. There's gonna be a little bit of top and bottom movement, and this is gonna change the not the horizontal but the vertical movement really fast. What I want is to get this movement really slow. I want this to be really slow. So what I mean by that is when I make this kind of movement, I want the camera to go up but not as quick as it is going now. So guys, see my mouse cursor. Okay, it's right here. I want to get this, but instead of it being achieved when I drag my mouse from here to here, I want it to be from here to here. So I just want a delayed kind of camera movement or the input to be less vertically, and for horizontal it is good. I can see here and there, but this moment is making it really bit odd, I guess. Like it looks a bit different. I can't stick with a singular vertical movement because I want this to look like this but not as fast as this. Okay, this is the first problem, and the second one is, as we have implemented this one, the power based heat system, I want to achieve the same thing using this. Right now it's not implemented because this is working because in the beginning of the not the beginning the start of the frame, we initially make the speed really low for the animation and stop the animation after a certain point. So this is working for our button if we try pressing a button, but for our Now it is working for keyboard keys, but it is still not implemented for the button. So firstly we will try to implement this for the button, and after that we will be fixing the camera. For the batsman, the camera is really good because we need to be able to look up and down so that we can see the gilly while we are hitting the gilly. So this is good for now. First let's achieve this hit one, and after that we will go to our next camera fixing thing. Okay, for button let's open up our script, which is inside our player input. On our strike button, let me check the script. This is where we are gonna make changes. Mm, 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 mm. Let me ask ChatGPT what this script really means. Okay, we need to modify this script. So for that, let's make this as strike 3 is true. Okay, this and this is actually the same thing, but this is just a single line of code, and for this we can add other parameters as well. So what we are gonna do is for our strike 3 we are gonna remove this. We are gonna make this as true, and we will wait a second. Is this how we're gonna implement this? Whatever we have here, we are gonna do it same for there. Git key down. We are changing the state. We are giving the power as well. Strike 3, and we are gonna add one more method. And we are gonna make not this one, but oh no, yeah, this one. And let's see what is changed. Strike 3 on click, but how do we achieve on button down and on button up? This is on click. But how do we achieve on button down and on button up? Let me check. Button down, button held. Oh, we need to use event trigger, but how do we even use that? Is there a... There's the event trigger. For our pointer down and for our pointer up. In our pointer down, what we want we want this method. We want this method for pointer down and this method for pointer up. So how are we gonna do that is we're gonna pass this script play input, lock this for now, go to our scripts, go and find play input. This script, pass it right here. And right here as well. And for this script, wait a second, is this the script? Yeah, this is the script, the input. But how do we select a function like we did for the on click? Is it not possible? No, that's not the way it is. Event trigger add pointer down and start charge pointer release. Oh, we need to have this method in that script, I guess. But I don't want to implement it in this way. Let me ask ChatGPT. So we do need a new script. on handler and pointer handler. Mobile strike does not implement interface. And we are gonna not here, but we are gonna do this. I don't think this is gonna work, but let's try. Play input handler dot the start. Let me check. Strike 3. So this start charge. Okay, now we have this. We need here. Mobile strike button. Let's see if this works. Wait a second. Do we keep the script here or here? I'm not sure about that. Let's put it here as well. This works. It is working. Oh, it works. Let's go, guys. It worked. Let me confirm one more thing, if we need this script here or not. Check Mari.
ओए ओह नाइस यार
इसमें पावर भी चेंज हो रहा है।
वही दिख रहा है वो
नहीं नहीं, मतलब इसके अंदर पावर भी चेंज होगा इससे। इसमें जो दिखा
मालूम
था।
भाई तो
ये
परफेक्ट है
इतना
रे
दूर गया है ना, अभी थोड़ा होल्ड करके मारा था मैंने।
हाँ
तो अभी बिना होल्ड करके टैप करता हूँ, ठीक है, कितना दूर जाता है। तो यहीं पे गया, पिछली बार यहाँ पे
हाँ
टैप
वही वही
किया था।
दूर चला गया
बस इसमें
अब स्ट्रिंग कर रहा है कि ठीक ठीक ठीक
इसमें थोड़ा वैल्यूज को अभी ऊपर नीचे वो फाइनल में आ जाएगा कि
हम्म।
कहाँ तक पहुँचाना है वो सब। ये हो गया।
तो ट्रेल क्यों हटा दिया
नहीं, ट्रेल नहीं हटाया।
यार
नहीं देखा क्या तुमने
नहीं
शायद?
दिख रहा था।
मैं दिखाता हूँ. So, देखा?
ये दिख रहा है नोटिस नहीं कर रहा सही से सब बात कर लिया 3 दिन का है अभी कंटेंट प्लान किया
क्या बोला उसने?
ठीक है कल कुछ एक पोस्ट करना है आज रात को एक पोस्ट करना है उसके बाद कल शूट है
Okay, guys, this was pretty easy.
नहीं लेके आऊँ खाएगा
And this was pretty easy, guys. This did not take a lot of time, and all thanks to ChatGPT. And now, it's time to fix the camera thing. For our filter, we have different pitch for the camera. So what I'm trying to achieve is I want to change this vertical rotation. No, it's not this one. It's something different. This is the one that I want to change. If I multiply this with value of no, not this way, but I want the sensitivity to change for only the fielder, not the batsman. So for X it's same. For Y, if he's a fielder, what we want to do is multiply this with a variable. So let's just introduce a variable. We want this variable to be accessed through the inspector, so we are gonna add serialize field private, and let's just name it as y_c. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna multiply this with y_c, and else if he's not a fielder, then it's gonna be the same for batsman. Mouse by buffer is gonna be equal to y. So let's quickly check this. Y_c, let's make it a 0.3 and build the scheme. See, it now goes way slower than before. But I feel like I should remove the Y part completely. For failure, this is gonna be quite enough. But the only reason I implemented the Y look for the failure was if the gilly goes really high, then I should be able to look a bit higher. That was the main reason for me to implement this. Still, the value is way more. Let's see if we can change this value and check the results. 1001. No, it's not changing. 0.001. Oh, now it's working. But the value is really, really low that I don't even notice the difference. This is the batsman, this is the fielder. Let's make it to 0.01. Still is barely visible. 0.1. Hmm. 0.05. I think this looks pretty good for now. Let's decrease a bit by. You guys notice the changes? I'm gonna show the before and after it. Before it was 1, so it was like this. Now it's like this. It's pretty smooth now. For mobile devices, I think this is gonna be enough. But if we want to change, we could change this anytime. So this is a good thing. Okay, we are done with this as well. So for our next task, for today, for the day, I had thought about implementing the score as well, and the score is gonna be implemented in a way that how it's gonna work is you are gonna get points based on how far the gilly travels. That is a fair thing, I guess, because that is the whole point of this game. So let's begin with implementing the score system. Okay guys, so let's implement the scoring system. And basically the way we are gonna achieve this is gonna be, after our final hit, we are gonna measure the distance between the initial hit and the point where the gilly touches the ground, and the distance is gonna be the point that the player's gonna get. And after that is implemented, we are gonna implement a multiplier, which is gonna be, if we make small hit, small horizontal, no, not the horizontal, the vertical hits that we can make it. I'll show you guys what I mean by this. So once we lift, the gilly is gonna be in air, and after that we can make this or this. Wait a second, we can either hit it again in the same direction or hit it far. So if we hit it again, that's what we call this a small hit. If we make it small hit once, then it is gonna get, the score is gonna get multiplied by a multiplier. So we will add a limit of 3 for this. So if we hit once, it's gonna get doubled. If we hit twice, it's gonna get 4 times. So now when the gilly falls from above and we hit this, and let's suppose we get a distance of 60 meters, then what we are going to do is we are going to multiply the score with the multiplier that we achieved from this. So this is going to be the boosting point. It is completely optional that the player can make this or he can skip this, but if he makes this, then he's gonna get more points, which is gonna add some kind of what do you call this, versatility to the gameplay, because currently there's just a simple thing, you lift and you hit and you get the points. So this is gonna make it a bit more fun, or a bit more, it's gonna add a bit more gameplay element, I guess. So that's how we're gonna achieve this. So for that, let's first calculate the distance that this is gonna provide, or it's gonna travel. So for that, let's start with our gilly script. Go to our fusion, go to our gilly, and go to our gilly script. First, we are gonna create some variables which are gonna be networked. Final hit, start position, where these are gonna be our 3 variables. So after we make our final hit, which is this, what we are gonna do is we are gonna we're gonna take the position of the hit. We're gonna store the position inside this variable. So this is gonna be our variable which stores the transform of the object. We are also gonna we're gonna make this as true. Now we need to detect the ground contact when the gilly touches the ground. So for that we have this method by Unity. If the final hit has not started, this is just to be sure. And the store and the score has been calculated already, then we return. Now if it's a collision dot collided, we compare if the collision happens with the game object that has ground tagged as it is tagged as ground, then what we are gonna do is we're gonna make this as true. We're gonna calculate the distance between the final position and the position of the collision. Let's see what score we get. And we are gonna pass this value to the game manager, which is our server or whatever it is called. I'm not sure about that, but everything is authorized by the game manager, so we have to make any changes that we want to be made by game manager. Apply distance score, pass the distance right here. So after we pass the distance from here, we are gonna multiply it with the multiplier inside of game manager, which is gonna be the alpha, which is gonna be our final score. Basically this is not our score, this is just the distance, and we can change the score to be what I was about to say, to be affected by the distance. What I mean is, if the distance is 60, we want our score to be 600. So the change that we made will be inside of game manager script. And after this, okay, this is it for Guildly script. Let's go back to game manager. Let's make one more variable to store the score every time, because this is gonna be like a 3 rounds game or 5 rounds game, so you can play for 3 rounds. Like first the player gets to bat, he is appointed as batter, he's gonna hit the gilly, he's gonna get scored, and after that he's gonna be fielder, and he's also gonna get points if he catches the gilly that is hit by another player, and again his turn comes for being a batsman, and this cycle is gonna repeat for like 2 or 3 times, and then you will get the final score, and then you'll be decided whether you won or lost. So for that, let's make this float. I think integer is gonna be fine, because we won't be getting our score mm, in no, let's make it float to be precise. Now after this, server apply distance. What did we have? Server apply distance score, yeah. And we are gonna take float. Score is gonna be current score is gonna be equals to. We have to take the distance as well. Instead, what we can do is in score we can round it to integer, and make this as integer as well, and add it with score. Okay, let's check this if this actually worked, or this is gonna work. For this, we are gonna tag this as ground, and make this ground, save this, and start. And let me check one more thing. Now Guildly script go to our prefabs, our gilly, and we have a collider, and it is not set to trigger. So I think this should work, but let's see, we never know until we hit the play button. See, we got a score of 60. See, the distance was 59 point this, and we got it rounded up to 60. So this is good, but there's one more thing that I need to add. The scoring distance, it is calculated, uh, it is being calculated on the impact, on the point of impact, which is good for final score, but what we want our viewers to get is, or the players to get is, to see the distance in real time. Like when the gilly is traveling, we want the distance to be calculated every single frame so that we can pass it as a variable somewhere around here. So we should be able to see the distance gradually going up as the gilly moves from here to here. So that is what I want to achieve, which we will work on after some time. First, let's clean this up. Let me check. I want to check one more thing. What the hell? I want to check and verify one more thing. Which is, if I hit it, if I try to hit the gilly with the full power, then let me see what score do I get. It should be more than 60. I missed. It should be way more than 60. It is 67. So this thing blocked the distance. If I had shoot it right over here, I would have got a much better score. So let's try that again. Oh, this is also a bug that I face every single time. After I lift it twice or thrice, the gilly gets the gilly. I don't know why this gilly starts to spin and the hit does not even get registered. I need to add a ground check, I guess, and every time the gilly touches the ground, then I want the gilly to be respawned with the initial values. Like every time I lift the gilly and when it falls, it its value or its transform gets changed every time. So I don't want that. I want the gilly to be at same exact same position in the same rotated value or the same rotation, so that the initial lift feels the same every single time. uh, see now How much distance did I get? I got 77. Did I hit like this or did I hit it with power? Let me check the stream for that. It with power. Let me check the stream for that. Just the ground, then I want the gilly to be respawned with initial falls. That I want the gilly to be at exact same position in the same rotated value or the same rotation, so that the initial lift feels the same every single time. Oh, it was a power hit. I did hold it for
See now
quite
how much distance
quite
did
a
I
bit of
get?
time. So
I got
that's the reason
77.
I got 77 score instead of the 60
Did I
that I
hit
got
like
when
this
I tapped.
or
When
did
I just
I
tapped
hit it with power?
Gilly
Let me check the
before.
stream for that.
Now for the multiplier, let's add one more variable. Small airlift. Float and multiplier set to 1.5. And if we every time we do a small airlift, we are gonna instead It does not exist. Five. Distance. So, score is gonna be score multiplied value. And if we make this a multiplier value of 2, make this 1. Value is gonna be if we multiply it with 0, it's gonna return as 0. So
we have to repeat as 1. And 2 multiplied by 2, it's gonna give 4, and 4 multiplied by 2, it's gonna give 8. So if we manage to make the small lead 3 times, then we are gonna get our score multiplied by 8. Okay, this is good. And our multiplier value is an integer, and score value, current score is an integer, so our score is also an integer, but our multiplier value, let's see if this works. Hopefully it should work. Left, if we hit, we got 65. Now with our multiplier, let's see how much score can we increase. What the hell? I don't think the multiplier worked. It did not work, I guess. We got way less score. Ah, we need to print this statement. What we did was score. Current score is gonna be the final score for us. Small hit, final hit. See our score? Let's go, it worked. Our distance was 60 and it got multiplied by 4. 6 into 4 is 24. Yeah, it worked. Now we need to find a way to display the score in real time. I have a doubt. Should we implement the multiplier before the final shot or after it gets landed? What I mean is, once the player hits the gilly, once the player strikes the gilly with his danda, the score will get displayed. But the score that gets displayed as soon as the player hits the gilly, should it be the score of the distance? And after we get the final score, we apply the multiplier, or or we just multiply it before and so the score, like the distance, so the distance value multiplied with the multiplier. What do you think? I think we should, what we should do is we should just show the distance value, and after the distance get calculated, and after we get the score we multiply it and show the final score after the gilly hits the ground. I think that will be a better idea. That will be a better approach. So for now, let's implement this. Let's implement the displaying of the current score, not the current score, but the distance on the screen of the player, so the player can visually understand what's going on and see the travel distance of the gilly in real time. Okay, let's start working on that.
जी, वो चूड़ा का पॉलीथीन कहाँ रखा था?
शायद नीचे था।
वो
So for that, let's go to our gilly script. And make a networked variable live distance and get distance access and let's go with manual set. So we need to add this. We need to
खा के देखो, खाएगा ना? बाइट लेके चीनी के साथ खाना। ठीक है,
इतना नहीं खा पाऊंगा।
ठीक है, जितना खा पाएगा निकाल दो।
एक काम करना, खा ले, मेरे को थोड़ा रख के फिर चल, तो मैं आता हूँ।
नहीं, तो ये वो हो जाएगा, फिर सॉगी हो जाएगा, अच्छा नहीं लगेगा।
तो थोड़ा ले ले इसमें, अगर थोड़ा सा So we need to calculate the distance in our update so that it gets updated every single frame. Final hit start position, and so this is gonna take the distance. This is gonna calculate the distance every single frame of the gilly when the final hit position and when the final hit has started, and the transform whatever this, and this is the current position of the gilly. So every frame when the gilly moves, this uh, this variable is gonna store the distance between the final hit start position and the position of the gilly at that frame. But we don't want to have this shown to the player every single time or calculated, so we are gonna, if final hit has not started or score has been calculated already, then we don't want this. In that case, we want to return from this. Else, if that's not the case, then we are gonna calculate the distance. Now to read this, what we should do is we create a UI inside our go to a final player, go to the batsman inside canvas, we create a UI text. We are gonna change this value. We're gonna display it right there. Not like this. This is not good. We're gonna make this as red. Let's make this bold, a bit bigger. Okay. Now let's create a script to read the value and display it inside our text. And I don't think we can. I don't think we need to check any of this. Game manager is not now. Tilde is equal to game manager instance. Let's go to game manager. It's our current guild. This is our current guild. Wait a second. This is network object, but we only need a script. So we need to take this and this. We don't have this directly. Oh, we have this. Let's make this private. And distance text will be equal to
अलकरा का कोई वीडियो डिलीट किया है क्या तू?
कौन से
हाँ
किया तो है
बस एक वाला चाहिए वो देखा
ऊपर ऊपर का किया है मैंने
याद है एक स्ट्रेट वो उसका वीडियो बनाया था हमने 2-3 बंदों का वो डिलीट किया है क्या?
मैंने वो नहीं किया है
नहीं किया है?
रिव्यू वाला नहीं किया
नहीं किया है ना सही ऐसे क्या भी रखे हो भेज ही देना मेरे को
हाँ, ये भाई ये फोन ले जा तू
हम्म
इसमें से भाई क्या कहते
सब क्लीन करके निकाल के हटा देता हूँ
वीडियो बनाते वक्त तो तब भी वो हो रहा है ना तो मेरे को डिलीट करना पड़ रहा है मैं देखा था उस दिन वो रिव्यू वाला इधर ही कहीं था उसके बाद गए थे ना हम लोग
इसके पहले गए थे
ये सब ना ये सब है
सही है सही है ठीक है तो अभी कोई काम नहीं है ना
ये नहीं अभी तो मैं कर रहा हूँ थोड़ी देर में
ठीक है बाद में अभी जरूरत में भी नहीं है इसका खाना खा रहा है ये
तो खा रहा हूँ देखा खा रहा हूँ
हेलो सूख जाए
I don't know what this F1 does. I don't know what this M does either. So live distance is still inaccessible to the public. So that's the reason it had private here. Let me ask what this M and this F1 does. Oh, it's number of decimal, something like that. And now let's go to our text. Let's add our script inside our Gilly distance UI distance text. Oh, we don't need this. We can put it inside our batsman distance text, and for our text we can put this right here. Save this, start this. Okay guys, now it's time to check. Oh, it shows this every single time, so we want this to set to off and only show after when the gilly is in flying state. Let's save this correctly. Oi, let's go. 62.5. Nice, this is working indeed. If gilly live distance is greater than 0.1 f. Is it active? Bool value. So gilly live distance does not exist. Distance text. this is just text. Gilly is, but we have this no Gilly script live distance. Okay. Now we should be able to not see this when we are not when the value of the distance is 0 or less than 0.1. We should not be able to see the distance meter, and once the value of Gilly up starts to increase from 0, then we should be able to see the distance text. So let's hit like this. Oh, it is working. So now I'm gonna show the things that we have achieved today. The first one is this thing, the hold mechanism, and the second one is the score system, which I'll show you. See the score, it's 64. And there's one more thing that we have managed to implement today, and that is the multiplier. And I'm gonna show you how the multiplier works. If I lift, if I make a small hit, if I make a small hit, and if I make the final hit, see the distance is 66, but the score is 264. And this is gonna be our final score. This is just the distance that the Gilly has traveled, and this score is the score that is gonna get reflected by the player to other players. And as you can see now, we had 66, but since we had a multiply, since we hit multiplier twice, which is 4 times, so the score got multiplied by 4, and we got the final score as 264. And that's it for today, guys. I think that's not it for today, that's it for now. And after 2 or 3 hours I'll be streaming again, and during the stream I think we should work on the environment. There's only a single tree in the environment right now, and I need to create or add a lot of trees. I am also thinking about adding some rocks and a small house or a hut that will give a bit more character to the game. And that will be it for today, and for tomorrow we have different set of works. So bye guys, we will meet soon.